Alrighty, here we go.
Let's do it.
Say hi, Tube.
What up, Tube?
All right, and last but certainly not least,
Time to rock and roll.
time to rock and roll. Oh, hang on. Audio mixer. Okay, cool. That's done.
The Whisper episode of the Business Bros.
Welcome to another episode of.
Are you ready?
It's gonna be so weird.
I'm not doing that.
No, me neither. All right, here we go. Ready to record in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of Business Bros. What up?
There it is.
What up, ladies and gentlemen? Hernan Cias here, host of the Business Bros podcast, along with my co-host,
The insurance bro, James Cias with Pipeline Insurance, and we don't have a guest today.
Guestless.
We're
Kind of happens.
guestless.
It kind of happens when
It
we have
does.
holidays. So do what we can when we can, and we keep going forward. The show must go on.
The show does go on. We have a great episode for you anyway. Lots of good stuff to talk about. Lots of things that we're really excited about. I don't know how much of it we're going to get to today, but definitely lots and lots and lots. First of all, guess what day it is?
It's Tuesday.
It's not hump day.
I was gonna say hump day, but it's Tuesday.
Well, I shouldn't say what day it is, but what week it is.
It's football week,
It's
baby.
football week, baby.
Woo!
In case anybody hasn't noticed, we have a new logo on the Business Bros Pod Facebook page
And Instagram.
and Instagram and probably a bunch of other
Yeah, we're gonna
places
put it on
too.
Twitter and everywhere else too.
Yeah, but it's us in our football gear.
Because it's football time, baby.
It is
We're
football.
super excited.
It is football season.
Hey,
oh yeah.
Hey, before we get into the branding logo stuff, quick reminder, ladies and gents, we're up to 210 pairs of shoes. We're about to cross that 60% marker, and the year's about, what, I don't know, 8 out of 12? 9. We're in the 9th month. We're entering the last quarter of the year here, right? Quarter number 4?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. September is like the last month.
The end
quarter
of
three,
quarter
but-
3. So
yeah.
entering, well, I always, well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Anyways, 365 pairs of shoes by the end of the year. So if you guys have new shoes, used shoes, or you want to donate some cash to get some more shoes, hit us up, 619-884-4915. Oops, that's 4915 is my number. I'll answer that either way. But 619-884-0045 is James's number. Hit James up at james@csfirst.com. Damn, it's been like 3 days and I already fumble it. James@csfirst.com. He'll hop on his Harley right over there, pick up those bad boys. Do not sit on his Harley when you're wearing shorts, or you end up with a nice exhaust burn like I have on my leg. But make sure that he loads up that saddlebag with as many shoes as possible. We appreciate each and every donation we've received so far, and thank you in advance for all the ones we're gonna get here, because we're gonna hit 365 very, very, very soon. And then, of course, if you guys have any charitable events coming up, any nonprofit organizations that you would like to promote on the show, hit us up. Again, James, 619-884-0045, or james@csfirst.com. All right.
Got that one right that time.
Got it right that time. It only took me a little bit of practice.
Just a little bit. It's cool.
So, logos.
Logos.
So we've been hit up by a couple different people. They're like, hey, you should do a logo for different seasons. You should do a logo for this. So we went out and we got a couple different logos done. And a big shout out to Fiverr. So if you guys need any logo recommendations, we can refer you to the person who does our stuff. But honestly, you guys can go out to Fiverr.com and contract somebody out to do a couple different designs for you and get your stuff squared away. Relatively inexpensive, depending on who you use, but it's a great turnaround process. And so we've got a couple different logos that are going to be coming out throughout the year. The first one is obviously football season. We're so excited. Thursday kicks off 2 more days. So I don't know about you guys, but I've had 2 fantasy football drafts already. The wife is probably not so happy because football season comes, and it's not so much the football season itself. It's just a topic of conversation that tends to happen between people that come over. Tends to be football related, and since she's not in the football field and she doesn't really care about that aspect of it, she don't like it so much. But what she does love is that Sundays become barbecue Sundays.
Yeah.
So gotta love that. Gotta love that.
Yeah, and now that you're not drinking anymore, there's plenty of beer left over for me.
Yeah. My fridge is pretty full. I still partake every once in a while. It's just, I gotta wake up the next day or whatever, and it's less reason why I want to.
I hear you. Hey, Ollie says that he wants the logo connection, so we're gonna have to hook him up after the show.
I will hook you up, Ollie. and get you, dude. It's some cool stuff. It's fun. The guy's really good. He got great turnaround time, and it's relatively inexpensive. So be on the lookout for those cool different designs. And again, that's feedback from you guys. So thank you very much for all the feedback that we get on and off the show, because it helps us make the show better for you guys. Yeah. All right. So something I wanted to bring up on the show. What do you think of consistency, Ham? Like, what is your opinion of being consistent, and what does it bring?
What is my opinion of being consistent? I mean, you're talking about like being on this show and doing this every single day like we have been for the past year and some change?
That, or Ollie's a good example of getting up and going to the gym in the morning,
right?
Or, you know, I mean, whatever
y'all
it is.
are making me feel bad.
But what do you think about, you know, the fact of something being consistent on a regular basis? Positive, negative, overall?
Oh, absolutely positive, man. I mean, how else are you going to get closer to the things that you want to do? One of the things that I just started and hoping to continue is doing my weekly plan, right? Sitting down on a Sunday. It wasn't Sunday. It was this morning, right? Because Sunday, Monday, it all kind of rolled together. It was kind of a crazy weekend. But this morning I got up and I did my weekly plan. Like, this is what I want to do for the week. And I have a whole planner for it, and I'm reflecting on what worked well last week and what I want to accomplish in the coming week, making sure that it all aligns with my quarterly and yearly and life goals, all of it. And, you know, just making sure that stick with it, because it's like a little progress report that I get to do every week.
Cool. Well, the reason why I was asking for the consistency thing is two reasons. One, I know that when things are consistent on a regular basis, on the positive side, we get results, right? Uh-huh. So, for example, the podcast, we do this every single day, and it's starting to show results. But then there's also things that you do on a regular basis that are negative in consistency, right? So like if you're regularly smoking cigarettes, for example, or if you're constantly drinking on a daily basis, these are still consistent things that could perpetuate negative results in your life, right? So so one of the things that that I like to talk about when it comes to consistency is it comes down to habits and how to break bad habits to make new habits. So you got any hacks for that by any chance?
Any hacks for...
Yeah, I'm going to share my hack, but I don't know if you had any hacks for breaking a habit.
SelfEmpowerment is one that I really like. So, again, borrowing from Melina, right? Mm-hmm. Melina Palmer at the Brainy Biz, right? Brainy Business Podcast, Brainy Biz Podcast. Blech. Empowerment. So, rather than saying I can't miss gym days, I can't miss, waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning. Ollie, I see you. I don't, right? Saying I don't puts that power back in my own hands. I'm making the choice because I don't want to miss those workout days. I'm making the choice because I don't want to give that up. I like the way that I feel when I wake up early and I go for a run, which I did this morning. Not 5 a.m., but pretty early. But yeah, I mean, giving myself that power rather than putting it as, something that I can't control.
Change your perspective on how things look.
Perspective.
Always comes down to perspective. Well, I mean, the reason why I ask is because I recently started posting that stuff on Facebook, right? Mm-hmm. I recently started posting the gym stuff, and I had never done that before. And we've been pretty athletic. I mean, there was before the ankle roll, we would go running every single morning, right?
Yep, I remember.
But I never posted it like, just finished my 3.3 miles, right? I never posted it, and I used to look at it as a like, I don't want to post it because I'm going to be like cocky type thing, right? Like, look at me, I'm fancy.
Let me get my gym selfie.
Let me get my gym selfie in. But when I started posting, I got some positive feedback on that. And it was more like, hey, I've been going to the gym also, or you know what, I'm part of the 5 a.m. club too. I'm glad there's other people doing it. And then I started to see, maybe they were already posting, maybe it's just because I've started to take notice. Mm-hmm. But other people that I've noticed in their life that have made major health changes in a positive fashion that start posting things on a regular basis. And I get in their, comments, and I'm like, hey, keep going. Like, keep doing what you're doing. It's inspirational. I love seeing your progress, whatever's going on, in that particular situation. Or maybe it's people just getting started. Cool. Make sure you post tomorrow. I want to see it tomorrow, the next day, whatever it is, to try to help break that cycle. You know what I mean? To help push them past that, 2-week barrier where you start something and then it falls off. And so, I try to, it's become more of a positive thing for me. And is it really a positive thing for me, or is it just my perspective on it has changed? You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm looking at it now as, I don't care if there's a negative comment on my feed. Like, it doesn't bother me if there's a negative comment on my feed. Whereas before, maybe I was worried about what people were going to say. And so because I was worried of what people were going to say, I never posted anything, And so, one of those hacks for habits is going to be stop caring about what other people think.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about what other people think and start focusing on that thing that you want. Last time we got to sit down and talk a little bit about visualization and seeing and feeling what that next level is going to look like. Right. But once you feel it, once you get a taste for it, then it's one of those things where, cool, I'm working my way to that point and nothing's going to stop me. Not your comment, not that person's comment, not anything negative is going to get in my way, because I know exactly what it feels like to achieve this goal. I know exactly how I'm going to get there, and I'm going to get there on a daily grind. I'm going to get there on a daily basis. And then the other thing about a habit that popped into my head before the show started was, it's really hard to quit a habit that's been started. Like, people quitting smoking is really, really tough, right? I mean, granted, there's a physical addiction to, nicotine, that sort of stuff. But still, sometimes it's more than just the physical addiction. Sometimes it's how I feel about that particular situation. This is my time to take a break. This is my time to be social. This is my time to whatever is associated with that time. And so, when you have these other habits that you're trying to break, instead of trying to break, for me anyways, instead of trying to focus my attention on breaking that habit, I try to supplement in a new habit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, if it's social time, maybe I keep the social time. I just change what I'm doing during that social time.
I think that might be what Ollie was referring to as habit stacking.
Habit stacking. So I'm not sure if that's what it's called. It probably is what it's called. But for me, that's that thing that, like, I know when I have a habit, whether it's good or bad, and I want to chop it down. Like, I can't. I physically, like, this is a weird one, but when I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is go to the restroom.
Right.
If I wanted to ever stop that, I would need to replace it with something else. Maybe the first thing I do in the morning is, wash my face or brush my teeth or drink a lot of water. But there's a habitual way to the things that I do in the morning, whether I did those by design or whether I did those just because that's how my mind works. But if I wanted to change it, I would purposely just start doing something differently. Right. I think about the way you put your shoes on in the morning and you put your socks on. Is it the left foot first? You tend to do the same one over and over again. But what if you switched it up? What if you consciously made an effort to, I'm gonna do this side because maybe I don't know, for whatever reason, I want to switch up the way I put my shoes on. But it's the same type of thing where this is my morning. I would get up in the morning and I would relax, I would take a shower, I could do anything else, or I could stay in my bed. But now I'm like, when my alarm goes off, I sit up. And the first thing I do is I sit up. And then once I stretch a little bit, then I stand up, right? And maybe for other people, that sit up and stand up is the most difficult part. I don't know, it was for me, right? When the alarm goes off, that just popping up and getting going is the most difficult part. After that, it's easy. After that, it's now you're in motion. Now it's more difficult for you to go back to bed, right? You can, but now it's more difficult.
Well, I mean, all of that comes from a million places, but the most recent place that I saw it was the Morning Miracle book, right? Where that's exactly what he talks about. He says, when you wake up, just get up, and the first thing you do is brush your teeth, wash your face. If you are engaging yourself in some kind of activity, then you're getting your body moving, and it's much easier to keep the body moving rather than, go back to bed. Object in motion wants to stay in motion.
100%. And here's the thing, like, Monday was a holiday, right?
Yep.
And so Monday, I had family over staying at the house. And I could have easily have gotten up. My body's been waking up now at 4 a.m, whether my alarm goes off or not. Like I wake up and I look at at the time, and it's 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:02, 4:05, 4:10, whatever it is. But my body is naturally waking up. And so Monday, I got up. Well, I woke up. I looked at the alarm, and I thought to myself, right? And here's that crucial moment, because I thought to myself, and I said, you know what? It's a holiday. Maybe I should fall asleep. Maybe I should stay in bed, right? And the moment I thought that, when I did not pop up, like all of a sudden, I'm rationalizing with my mind, right? I'm rationalizing instead of just instinctively doing that habit thing where I wake up and I look at the time and I pop up, right, and get up and get going. I didn't do that. I broke the habit that I had been doing on a regular basis, and instead I started rationalizing with myself. I let those 5 seconds where I made the choice to get up and not get up, I made the choice to think about it. And if I made the choice to think about it, I lost the battle right there, because I didn't take action on it. You know,
consistency.
And when I'm laying there, I'm thinking, and I rationalize my rationale, my excuses are they're legitimate.
I have to get up. I don't have anywhere to be right now.
No, I used other excuses. I used other people as an excuse. I was like, you know what? If I go downstairs and I fill up my water bottle, I have family sleeping in the living room.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Like, I'm gonna wake them up. You know what? It's a holiday. The gym might not even be open. Like all these, BS things.
Yeah.
Right. But it didn't matter. The point was, I did not take action to get up, so my mind made excuses for me to stay down. And I think that happens to a lot of people on a regular basis. And in anything, I mean, we're talking specifically about working out, but think about when you're prospecting and making calls. Like, you can rationalize yourself. Well,
I was going to say, we're not talking about just getting up and working out.
No, I mean, that was my example, but it's anything. If your habit, if your calendar is set, if you have that time slot where you're going to do X thing and you don't start, then you start to rationalize with yourself. You're letting your mind take over and think about that fear, think about that, what if, or I got plenty of other things. Life, trust me, there's lots of things to do in life. There's lots of things that we could do. At that, on Monday morning, I would rather have slept. And so I did not pop up.
Yep.
But for the listeners, like, think about what it is that you want to achieve. I mean, there's things, James was talking about setting his weekly goals. There are things on that goal sheet. And when you look at James's goal sheet, which he can share if you guys want, there's not like 50 things on this goal sheet. There are 3 things that you need to get done this week. 3 things. And if there are only 3 things that you need to get done this week to make you feel productive, so that you have achieved, a progressive motion in the right direction, right? You can do those things and you can crank them out really quick. Or you can rationalize with yourself. You can think for a second like, I can do that in an hour. I can do that later today. Yep. I can do that tomorrow. Oh, damn, it's Friday. Right?
Yep.
And that happens to most people. Most people, the consistency on a regular basis, not having a consistent schedule, not sticking to what you're supposed to do on a regular basis, is the thing that's knocking you over, that's stopping you. Every time you take a distraction, every time you watch a little bit of Netflix, I've found that for me personally, when it comes to TV and that kind of distraction, it's very limited. I like to do laundry. Want to know why? Because when it comes time to fold, that's my TV time. But I'm getting something that I need to do anyways on a regular basis done, and I reward myself with that's my TV time, and I get to watch whatever I want, right? And so the only time that differentiates that schedule is going to change is during football season, baby. Right? It's the only time. Well, no, it's not just Sundays. It's Thursdays. It's Monday nights, and it's Sunday. So, but that stuff is planned into my schedule. Like, it's part of my, I already know that starting Thursday, these are the times that I'm going to be in front of that TV. And I'm going to have other things done. I'm going to still have my laptop open. I'll probably be commenting on social media at the same time, making it useful as much as I can. Because let's be honest, it's football. I'm watching football.
Right.
But it's part of my schedule, right? And for me, that consistency, the schedule that I have, the goals that I have, the things that I want to get done in a particular week, I also understand where that's going to get me in life, right? So one thing is to let's maintain a consistent schedule. Let's develop the right habits to put in the right place. But the other thing is, let's be realistic in what life that's going to bring you. Mm-hmm. Right? Because
it's the motivation, right? It's all about finding that why. It's what is it that's driving you? Why do you choose to get up and do the things that you want to do?
The why is absolutely important, but I'm finding that the why helps me get up. Mm-hmm. The vision, which is the next thing I'm working on, what my life is going to look like, is the thing that keeps me going. Right? The why gets me started. The vision helps me to keep taking that pace. So it reminds me of when we went backpacking down the Grand Canyon. Remember that? So we were young. Came up. So we were young. I'll give you guys a little bit of background. What was it? Do you remember the name of that place?
Oh no,
I don't know. It was this beautiful spot in the Grand Canyon. It was it was like an 8 or 10 mile hike to this spot, and it was beautiful waterfall, blue crystal clear water. The hike there wasn't so bad. We walked down the Grand Canyon. We get over there. I mean, we had to take a little pit stop because we started a little late. We had to camp out and then keep going in the morning. Spent the whole day at the campsite. It was beautiful. Then it rained, and that beautiful blue water turned like chocolate brown.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep.
And then we had to hike back. And when we hiked back, everybody had to pack enough water to go all the way back. Well, I made sure I packed enough water. I didn't check on my 4 other cousins, my 2 brothers and my 2 cousins, right? I didn't check on them, and we just hiked back. And I kept a good pace. I knew my goal was just to stay 1 foot in front of the other, and I was going to get to the top before everybody else. And I kept that pace going, and I was good. I got to the top. I was the first one to the top, and it took a while for the next person to come up, which was James. And he took a little while to get there, but, let's face it, he was a little bit smaller than me. He wasn't as strong as me. At the time, I mean, we were like 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like 15, 16 years old. It was just an age difference. But he got up there next. And what we didn't realize was that the other one, that my other brother and my 2 cousins and my uncle, they didn't pack enough water.
Nope.
So it wasn't even a matter of getting to the next spot and taking that next step. Their drive was, I need to get to the top just so I have enough water to drink. Just so I can survive, right? But they made it. It didn't matter whether they almost, let's face it, they were dehydrated. It was pretty bad. But they kept putting 1 foot in front of the other. They were consistent at getting to the next step and taking the next step and taking the next step. And that last mile all the way up the wall of the Grand Canyon, that was a tough one. But it's 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot in front of the other. And as long as you see where you're going, you can see where it's at. Then you continue to take those steps to get there. And that's the visualization that I feel that most people have to have. The problem is they're taking steps. They just don't know where they're taking steps to, right? They know why they need to get there. They're thirsty. Mm-hmm. And they know that's where the water is. They know the why, which helps them keep going. But seeing the end in sight, getting to that end, knowing that there's going to be the water, and knowing that they're not going to be thirsty anymore, knowing that they can relax, knowing that they can take their backpack off, that is what keeps them going to that next step and that next step.
So the last time we talked about that visualization. We talked about, taking the $30,000 a month or whatever it is that you want to earn and sitting down and actually spending that money in your mind, right? Mm-hmm. Actually sitting down and figuring out, if you were making the amount of money that you want to make, how would you spend it?
What would that look like?
Right? What would that really look like, and what would it feel like? And today we're talking about consistency. So in order to be able to get to that point where you spend that kind of money, it's about doing the things that, to steal it from Tim and Julie Harris, right? The things you don't want to do when you don't want to do them at the highest level.
At the highest level.
Right? And that's why you're up at 4:30 in the morning to meet Ollie virtually at the gym. Yeah. And that's why Ollie's up as early as he is. And that's why so many people that we surround ourselves with are up early, and they're at it early. And, I'm really proud to surround myself with a lot of high achievers like that, like the people that I spend the most time with really are people that I want to be like.
Because they push you.
Because they push me. People that make me better. Yeah, exactly. So that consistency, part of it is also, to me, making sure that you are surrounding yourself with those people that really do make you better in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be financially better. There's people that make you spiritually better, right? People that make you better better people for the community, people that push you to be better for, a lot of different reasons. Whatever it is that matters, that's what you want to make sure to surround yourself with.
And I think that's why having that vision and figuring out what it is you want in life is so important. And gearing it towards what are the things that make you happy? Is it spending time with your family? Is it having a closer relationship with God? Is it being a better father? Is it being a better business person? Is it being the top salesman in your company? What is it that you're trying to achieve? And then once you know what that is, now you have have your why that gets you up in the morning, have that vision that keeps you going, and then every single day you're taking consistent one step at a time to get there. It's not a race, right? It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You're taking your time to get there, but you're constantly moving in that direction. Consistency is the key. And for us, the podcast is an absolute testament to that.
Truth.
The podcast has become something that we started off not really knowing what to do, and now we give advice on how to do it on a regular basis. Every single day somebody asks, how do you get started? What app do you use? What systems do you use? What's your mic like? How do I post it to this? How do I do that? And now we've gotten to the point where we've gone from rookie to we've been doing this for a good long while. We've become a good influence, and now we're barely going to turning the corner on providing sponsorship opportunities.
Yeah.
And so that's a big step for us, and that's huge. It's come a long way. And before you know it, we're going to blink and it's going to be a couple years down the road, 4 or 5 years down the road. And for those of you who've been following along, thank you. But it's going to be one of those things that we already know we're going to be like overnight successes. And you're going to be there to see that it wasn't overnight. Like, you're going to see us at the top of the Grand Canyon. But those of you who have been on the road with us know we've just been taking one step at a time the whole time. It's the consistency factor of making sure you do it on a regular basis.
Hell yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that.
Same. So to kind of close this out here, because that was a really good way to kind of finish it up. I just want to read this quote that Ollie left for us. Says, "Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement."
Absolutely.
And that's by James Clear.
That's awesome. And
compound interest of self-improvement. As a math teacher, you'll love that.
I love that. And as a math and finance person, the biggest part that people don't understand about compound interest is they understand the fact that it grows, it's compounded, right? They know the mathematical part, the part that I earn interest on my interest. Everybody knows that. What they always overlook is the time. Right? It's growing, it's working, it's doing its thing, but it's doing it over time. And everybody wants to hit that max level of compound interest. They like to see that dollar amount that happens 30 years down the road, but don't realize that it's taking a day at a time for 30 years. And that's the consistency part.
Yep.
That's where it's going to pay off.
So it's funny, talking about that visualization and spending $30,000 a month and everything. I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about, for whatever reason, the Kardashians. And I'm like, man, I'm over here trying to figure out how to spend $30,000 a month. They probably spend like $30 million a month. Right?
I don't know what
their
number is.
I don't know what their number, but they spend a ton of money.
It's all relative.
Right? Like all the time. And I'm like, how would I ever even go about spending that? And Vanessa says to me, she goes, I'm not that worried about it. I wouldn't want to just like land in that anyway. I wouldn't want to just wake up that morning and have that kind of money. Like, I'm really gonna enjoy getting to a place where we're spending $10,000 a month, and then 15, and then 30, and then going from there.
Yeah, I like the progression. It also helps you moderate, right? Because I think, like I said, if you were to fall into $30 million a month, I think it would ruin you. I think it would ruin me. I don't think we have that capability to do that level yet. And that's the thing, is you're going to progressively build your way up. I don't know if we're going to be 30 million a month type people. I don't know. But I know that we're going to get to that 30,000 a month.
Yep.
I know that it's growing every single year. So we're going to get there. And when we get there, there's no reason to stop. So I don't know what's going to be later on. Now, maybe you're making $30 million a month, but you're giving away 20 of it, 30 of it, 29
When I got
of it,
to the
whatever.
edge of town, I thought, why stop here? I just ran clear across the state.
See? Love Forrest Gump. All right, ladies and gents. Hey, just a quick reminder, 365 pairs of shoes by the end of the year. So if you have new shoes, used shoes, or you want to donate cash, hit James up, 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com. We'd love to get those shoes from you and help us get to that 365 marker as soon as possible. And if you have a charitable organization or a nonprofit that you want to promote, let us know, james@csfirst.com or hernan@csfirst.com. And yo, we are your insurance referral partners. We're the ones who are going to help grow your business by partnering with you. So we're going to help you not only nurture and maintain your clients, but send you referrals when it's time for them to do more business. So hit us up, james@csfirst.com or hernan@csfirst.com. We'd love to be of service to you. Our contact info is up there. That's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And we're out.
All right, there it is. Good afternoon. Good evening. Have a good one, Facebook. Bye. Bye.
What time is it?
5:05.